Hey everybody, it's Leroy from Leroy Gaming, and today I'm going to bring you my Starfield combat skill guide, where I review all the combat skills and each of their 4 ranks. In Starfield, you only get 1 skill point per level, but there are hundreds of skill ranks in the game and no way to respec. This guide is meant to help you understand what combat skills are worth taking and which you are likely to regret picking. In this guide, you will learn not only which skills are good, but also which of the 4 ranks within each skill are worth your time. So drop a like if you find this video helpful and join me as I rate all the combat skills in Starfield. Alright guys, let's go ahead and begin with just a little bit of the basics. The combat skill tree is split into 4 tiers. Now when you start out, you're going to be getting 1 skill point per level, and in order to unlock the second tier of skills, you're going to have to go ahead and put 3 points in the first tier. Now this can be 1 point per skill, or you could do something like put all 3 points into 1 skill. It does not matter how you break it up, as long as you've put in 3 points. Now in order to unlock tier 3, you're going to have to put a total of 7 points across tier 1 and tier 2. And it does not matter how you distribute this. You could go and put all 7 points into tier 1, or you could do 3 points in tier 1, 4 points in tier 2. Any combination works. To unlock the 4th and final tier, you're going to need to put in a total of 11 points across the entire tree. And that's all you're going to need to know when it comes to the basics for combat skills. Alright, when it comes to tier 1 skills, we're going to go ahead and start with ballistics. Now, what's nice about ballistics is this counts all ballistic weapons. Does not matter whether it's a ballistic handgun or rifle or a shotgun, etc. So this is a little bit more valuable innately. The downside is that these increases are not that huge. They're 10% per point, and then the 4th rank increases the range of the weapons by 30%. I would say the range might help a shotgun a little bit more, but with a lot of the rifles, for example, and even your handgun, your range is good enough that increasing it by 30%, unless you have a crazy scope on it, might not be that helpful because you may struggle to hit enemies at that range. So I would rank these as decent. If you decide to completely commit to ballistic weapons, then definitely you could put some points here to max out their potential. But I would say early game you can ignore this until you decide whether you want to go ballistic or not. Now the dueling skill is for all of you melee murder hobos. Unlike all the other weapon trees, these are pretty unique. So right off the bat, at level 1, you're going to get a nice DPS boost. And you're going to notice that melee weapons in general do really good damage. So a 25% boost for 1 point is really good. But what makes this even better is you take 10% less damage while wielding a melee weapon. So this is an excellent skill if you are going to go melee. Now rank 2, your mileage may vary. Sometimes getting a kill and getting that 20% movement boost will be noticeable. Sometimes it won't. But it's not as impactful as tier 1. And then tier 3 is a nice upgrade. You're going to double that bonus from rank 1 of damage. And now you're going to take 15% less damage when wielding a melee weapon. This is definitely worthwhile. And then finally, I absolutely love rank 4. Melee kills heal you for 10% of your health. This is great. If you're going to go into melee, I definitely recommend going all the way through. Next we have lasers, and this is pretty straightforward. You're going to get 10, 20, or 30% damage with laser weapons, which is decent. It's not an amazing scaling, but it's pretty standard. The rank 4, 5% chance to catch enemies on fire is okay. What's interesting is when you catch enemies on fire, it does do damage over time and they tend to panic a little bit, but 5% isn't that much, and you can get other equipment that can already catch enemies on fire. So I'm so-so on this rank 4. If you're gonna commit to lasers down the line, this is something you will probably put points into, but it does not need to be a priority at all. Next we have pistol certification, and I absolutely love this skill tree past rank 1, because in this game there are actually some excellent pistols, ones that mimic the 357 revolver especially, that even before you buff them, can stop an elephant within 1 or 2 shots. So rank 1 is underwhelming with a 10% damage boost, but notice it doesn't go to 20 and then 30%. It goes 25 and then 50%. So by rank 3, this is amazing. But it gets better. I believe this is probably the best rank 4 option for any weapon. Pistol kills grant you a 25% critical hit chance for 5 seconds. Combined with some of the crit skills later on, this can make you an absolute murder machine. So this is A+ S ranking. And finally, in tier 1, we have shotgun certification. It has the standard 10, 20, 30% damage scaling, which is okay, nothing special. And I do find the rank 4 here very underwhelming. Small chance to stun additional targets with shotguns for a limited amount of time. Shotguns I found are very inaccurate. They have a short range, long reload times. Not a fan of them in this game, in my opinion. All right, next we have tier 2 skills. I'm gonna go ahead and start with demolitions, and rank 1 here is excellent. It's gonna give your grenades a throwing arc trajectory, so you know where you're throwing it. This is great. Having a 25% larger radius is helpful as well. Now rank 2 and 3 are interesting. Rank 2 increases the damage of explosives by 25%, which is pretty decent. And rank 3 reduces the damage taken from explosives by 25%. Both ones that maybe you misthrow, but also this will count landmines and grenades others throw at you. But what makes this kind of interesting to another level is the rank 4. Because rank 4 is going to double all the other bonuses. We're talking about 50% larger radius here, 50% more damage, and 50% less damage taken from explosives. So in demolitions, I feel about it in one of two ways. If you want to be stingy with it, get 1 point in demolitions so that you get that arc, and at least you're going to be more accurate with throwing your grenades, etc. But if you really want to go and do some serious damage and make this be super effective, then go all the way for 4 points. Don't stop in the middle. Next, we have heavy weapon certifications. There are definitely some very effective heavy weapons in this game. They have high base damage as it is, so that 10, 20, and 30% bonus is going to be helpful. Again, it's a pretty standard increase here. But then you have gained 25% physical resistance while aiming down sights with a heavy weapon. Because a lot of times you may be slower and you're taking your time to aim these heavy weapons. Having this physical resistance is really, really nice. If you're gonna go and be a heavy weapon specialist, I would go to rank 4, not necessarily just for the 10% boost per rank, but it is for that physical resistance. It can really make a big difference in your survival when everything adds up. Next, we have incapacitation. And so this is generally all about EM weapons. So weapons that are gonna be good at taking out robots, and it can be used to kind of stun human enemies as well. The damage scaling on this is pretty weak, 5, 10, and 15%. And then the EM weapons having a 50% chance to do 300% EM damage. While the 300% damage is amazing, it is very, very random, and you have to go through 3 really lackluster skill points here. So I'm hesitant to recommend this. You're really kind of rolling the dice with that rank 4. So unless you have a very specialized build that's going to take advantage of this, your points can probably be more useful elsewhere. All right, next we have particle beams. And we start yet again with a standard 10, 20, 30% damage scaling. Particle beams tend to be pretty good on their damage, so you're gonna get decent bang for your buck here as you level up. And rank 4 is decent as well. If you're gonna be going for a crit build, then this definitely is big. That extra 5% crit chance definitely can add up with other bonuses to make a big difference here. But if you're not gonna be going all in on a crit build, then you're gonna get much less mileage out of this, and you may consider other upgrades before you just do flat 10, 20, and 30% damage increases. And then finally, in this tier, we have rifle certifications. So do note this is all type of rifles. So this is pretty versatile. If you're into the feel of how rifles operate in this game, then this 10, 20, and 30% damage increase can be helpful. Again, it's not spectacular, it's pretty standard progression. The rank 4 reload rifles 30% faster while you're standing still is okay. Here's my problem. Generally, when I'm playing, when I'm doing the reload animation, I want to be moving out of line of sight, into cover, etc. So standing still to reload kind of sucks. And so this is counterintuitive to save play. So hence, I'm not nearly as excited about this. Rifle reload times are kind of long, but they're not horrible. So, so on the rank 4. And again, rank 1, 2, and 3, I would say you could pick it up when the time comes if you find an extra point to get that little extra boost of damage. All right, next we have tier 3 skills, and we're gonna start with marksmanship. Now, if you are going to be going for non-automatic ranged weapons, this is an amazing tree. Rank 1, it's not that impressive, increasing your crit hit chance of non-automatic ranged weapons by 3%, but by rank 2 you're at 8, and by rank 3 you're at 15. Now you're cooking. Now rank 4 is amazing if you're not using a scope. Doubling your crit damage, especially as it can stack with your other crit damage bonuses in the skill tree, is amazing. The knockdown effect when you use a scope is less impressive, but still okay. But if you're gonna go for a crit build here with non-scoped ranged weapons that are non-automatics, this is God tier, S tier, all the way. Next, we have rapid reload. And I find this a little frustrating because it has this kind of tier of, oh, rank 1 lets you reload ballistic weapons faster, and rank 2 is energy and EM weapons. So it kind of sucks if you're not into ballistic weapons at all, you're into energy weapons, you got to put 2 points into this. Not a huge fan of that. Rank 3 has the reload particle beam weapons 30% faster, and because these do tend to reload pretty slowly, that 50% chance to avoid getting interrupted while reloading is nice, but it feels really bad when you do get interrupted. And then if you were to go to 4, chance on hitting enemy to increase reload speed for all weapons by 50% for 15 seconds. Because it's a chance thing, I don't know, not too hot about it. If you have a weapon that's specifically ballistic and has a long reload time, I would say 1 point into this is worthwhile. The other ones, you'd have to be really, really specialized to make sense. Under most circumstances, I would never put 4 points into this to get that final perk. All right, next we have sniper certification, and they're pretty sneaky about this. They definitely did not want you to be able to combo scoped sniper rifles with the other crit trees that really focused on crit chance, because those specifically say non-scope weapons. Now, the very first 2 ranks of this skill tree, I'm not too crazy about. So sure, a little steadier when you aim down the scope, and being able to hold your breath a little longer is okay. But really what you're here for is rank 3 and 4. Rank 3 is basically going to give you 25% crit hit chance, and then rank 4 is going to automatically increase your damage by 50%. That combination is amazing. I say either go straight to rank 4 of this as soon as you can, or don't bother with this at all. And then we have targeting. And this is kind of interesting because this is all about shooting from the hip. Because that's basically what they mean when they say when shooting without aiming. But I believe most people prefer to aim down sight for better accuracy. If you like shooting from the hip, this is kind of cool. Being able to mark 1 or more enemies that are shooting at you so you know where they're at. If you're accurate at shooting from the hip, then this could be quite good. And if you're going to go rank 1, you might as well go rank 2. You're going to get better accuracy and range. and you're going to mark now 2 enemies at a greater range. Rank 3 is going to make this even better, and rank 4 also adds the ability to disarm a target when shooting without aiming. Now, you're going to get better mileage on rank 4 here if you do a high shots per minute weapon. So if you have a big hitter revolver that shoots pretty slow, you're not going to get your bang for your buck here. But if you have a rapid fire weapon or an automatic weapon potentially that you shoot from the hip, well, then this 10% chance is going to proc way more. So basically, rapid fire weapons, I could see you going to rank 4. Non-rapid fire weapons, I could see you go as high as rank 3 to get that huge accuracy boost and the other effects. And finally, guys, we're going to have the tier 4 skills. We're going to start with armor penetration. Now here, your mileage may vary on this depending on how many armored enemies you're facing. If you're facing a lot of armored enemies, robots, etc., this is going to get better and better. Just one rank into this, you're probably going to not notice it that much. If you think about it, best case scenario, this is a 15% damage increase. If your target doesn't have very much armor or no armor, then this is not going to do anything. Upping it to 50% at rank 3, that scales a little bit better. Now your mileage on rank 4 will vary. If you have a crit build, then lowering an enemy's armor by 25% for 6 seconds after crit hit is amazing. But if you don't have a crit build and you're not critting a lot, well, then this is not worth it for you. At that point, you can decide whether it's worthy for you to go to rank 3 of this. It's not quite worth an increase of 50% damage. I would probably guess it's somewhere between 30 and 50% increase in damage depending on what you're fighting, and hence at the end of the day, this is probably going to scale very similar to other weapon certifications. So get this once you've gotten your other important things done and you're kind of trying to min-max your damage. Next, you have crippling, and I want to explain what a down state is here if you haven't seen it. So basically, a down state is a chance of an enemy, once you've done enough damage, that they quite literally fall to the ground, and you may see them kind of crawling away from you, trying to get into cover. They're basically downed and helpless, but they are not dead. And by default, if you let them live long enough, they can naturally pop up or get some assistance to pop up. So here, with rank 1, human enemies have a 30% increased chance to enter a down state after taking enough damage. Now, I don't know what the base chance is for this, so this could be good or not so significant. With that being said, if you can get a human enemy that's higher level to go into down state, that can help make that encounter a lot easier. By rank 2, it's going to increase it by 50% and they can no longer naturally recover. So what's nice about this, you can basically get somebody into a down state and ignore them at that point, not worrying about them coming back up, and then you can go and focus on other targets. Rank 3 is a pet peeve of mine here. It says human enemies now can enter a down state earlier. That does not tell me anything. How much earlier? Are we talking about now at 50% health, at 30% health? It'd be nice if they told us this. I have not tested this at all, but if this is significant, this could be really good because of the rank 4. Speaking of which, let's look at rank 4. Previous ranks now apply to all enemy types. This turns this from a pretty interesting skill to one that could potentially be amazing. And now it says you now do 100% more damage to downed enemies. You can basically coup de grace enemies highly effectively. Depending on just how effective rank 3 of this is, will dictate how powerful this is. Because if you can consistently down enemies of all types into the state, this can be very, very powerful, and this would take this entire skill to a whole new level. So the jury's still out on this a little bit, but the potential to be really, really amazing. And finally, we have sharpshooting. This is the skill that really caps off your crit build. So right off the bat, rank 1, increase headshot critical damage by 50% with ranged weapons. Amazing. Rank 2, increase critical damage to enemy legs by 50% with ranged weapons. A little bit weird because it's counterintuitive to aim for legs. I think most people will aim for headshots, or if they're randomly aiming, they may go for center mass, but it's okay. It increases the chance to get that damage boost, so it's now either headshots or legs. Rank 3 is phenomenal, increases all critical damage to enemies by 50% with ranged weapons. As long as you're going for a high crit chance build, this is great. And then rank 4, ranged critical hit kills increase your critical hit chance with all ranged weapons by 25% for 20 seconds. That is eternity. Basically, if you kill something with a critical hit, so basically if you kill something with a critical hit and you're already utilizing a critical hit build, chances are you're going to be critting, and you're going to be just a murder machine. So this right here, sharpshooting, probably the best capstone skill in the game, bar none. S tier. Unless you're going for a non-crit build, there's no reason not to take this and prioritize this whenever you can. Alright guys, there you have it, my Starfield combat skills guide. I hope you found this helpful. If you did, remember, drop a like. Want to hear your thoughts. Do you agree with me on my choices? Do you have differences of opinion? Would love to hear them in the comments below, and I'll do my best to reply to your thoughts. As always, if you want to see more videos from me, make sure to subscribe. Thank you for all of your support, and I look forward to seeing you guys in my next video.